This is my first time to attend a conference by NTS Asia, and I found it very useful for my knowledge and networking. I was able to listen to a lot of experts analyzing from all angles how climate change affects the sustainable development goals. That's a positive part of it, very useful. But allow me to say this, the discussions somehow to me sound like this is a gathering of like-minded people. So it certainly feels safe, comfortable to be among people like yourself. But it will be more interesting to have debates or even heated debates of different people with different ways of thinking. On the other side, for example, like energy planning people with responsibility to create jobs and have different views on climate change, and that will make it even more interesting. The Mekong River is one of the most important rivers on the planet Earth, and it's been important in connecting the nations in the region for thousands of years, ecologically, culturally, economically, livelihoods, and so on. And now the river is being threatened to be cut into pieces, and will lose that connectivity functions by hydropower dams. And I'm from the Mekong Delta, and our delta is faced with three major challenges: climate change, internal development missteps, and impacts from hydropower. But I think impact from hydropower is the most serious, permanent and irreversible. And the impacts from hydropower are going to affect all countries in the Mekong region. And like I said during the conference, in ecology we have the concept of carrying capacity, meaning the maximum number of individuals of a species that an area can support. That can be extended to human. And I think in the future, when the Mekong River system loses its ability to provide ecological services, its carrying capacity will reduce, and you can expect that the river, the Mekong Basin, will not be able to support its current human population of 60 million people in the lower Mekong Basin and 90 million people in the whole basin. So you can expect an exodus of people leaving the region for livelihoods, and that will have social implications at the source and at their destination. This phenomenon is already observed in the Mekong Delta in Vietnam, one of the most fertile deltas in the world, but 1 million people already left in the past 15 years due to environmental degradation. So I think ecological degradation should be considered an important non-traditional security threat, and it should be in the discourse of national, regional, and world security forums.
And how does this problem affect relations between countries in the subregion?
I think many studies have established relationship, the link between environmental or ecological degradation on the one hand, and poverty, migration, and conflicts between nations. Yeah. One is that the demand for electricity is projected too high. For example, EGAT in Thailand, they have a track record of projecting high. So everybody thinks that demand going to be high, but that's one thing. And the other thing is there's a lot of wastage of power, and there's a lot can be done to improve efficiency. But another thing is hydropower is an old technology, and today there are many other options like wind and solar. And solar, surprisingly, the cost of solar has gone down very much during the past 5 years. It's gone down dramatically, down to like 40% of what was 5 years ago. And in the future, I think solar is the way to go. And also, 20 years ago, without information and insight, people thought about hydropower differently. Hydropower was taken as cheap and clean, renewable source of energy. But today, science has proved otherwise, because hydropower is only cheap to the developers who suddenly have the whole river for themselves. The river is shared by 60 million people. Now they have it for themselves. So it's cheap for the developers. But the cost, hidden cost, financial, environmental and social costs, and far-reaching costs, the cost borne by the 60 million people are not cheap at all. And hydropower in the context of climate change is not clean either, because one, hydropower destroy forests at the site, at the transmission line, and resettlement of people also cause deforestation. And science, new research has proved that hydropower reservoirs in the tropical context can emit a large amount of CH4 methane gas, which is 21 times stronger than CO2 in causing global warming for the same horizon of 100 years. Because when there's a live river and you install a dam, create a reservoir, you turn a live river into a non-flowing environment, and so oxygen can get down to only the top 5 meters, and down below you don't have oxygen, and organic matters accumulate from all over the basin, will deposit at the bottom of the reservoir, and decomposition of organic matters in the conditions lacking oxygen. Instead of emitting CO2, it will emit CH4. So to sum up, hydropower is an old technology. It's not cheap. It's not clean in the context of climate change.